Greetings media operatives, my name is Lee Pinkerton and I work for the CREM project. The CREM project is an acronym. It stands for Communicating the Race Equality Message More Effectively. In this particular video, we're discussing the 10 commandments of Twitter. The 10 things you need to consider when you're putting yourself out there on that particular platform. The first commandment of Twitter, I would say, is have a decent profile picture. Not you posing with somebody famous because people's attention are drawn to the famous person, not you. Not the generic things that Twitter gives you. It used to be an egg, now I think it's a silhouette. So I think if you haven't gone to the trouble of doing a decent photograph, then you can't really be taken seriously. If I come across people on Twitter who don't have a profile picture, I don't bother following them because they're clearly not taking Twitter seriously. It's the same as turning up to a job interview in a tracksuit. You're not really taking it seriously. You haven't made the effort, so why bother? Now, okay, you've got your Twitter account, you've got a nice picture, you now need followers. How do you get followers? In two ways. So the second commandment of Twitter is build your following by first following other people. So you have a brand, you have a target audience, you have something you're trying to sell. Look for other accounts that are similar, in a similar area, similar sector, have a similar audience, and start following them. Build up those followings. The easiest way to get a follower to your account is to follow them first. Then when you're building up the number of accounts you're following, look at who they're following, and that might give you suggestions about who you should be following. So build up your followers by following other people first. My third commandment of Twitter's 10 commandments would be to build your following by interacting with others. The easiest way to get a retweet or a like to your tweet is to compliment somebody. Everybody loves to be complimented. You should make it a habit to spend some time on Twitter, not just to promote yourself, but going down your timeline, liking, retweeting, commenting, interacting. That's how you make friends, isn't it? By interacting with people. Do the same thing on social media. It's called social media for a reason. You need to be sociable. My fourth commandment in the 10 commandments of Twitter would be don't forget to @ people. That means to put their Twitter handle in your tweet. That way, the person you're @ing will see the tweet in their mentions. They may not be following you, but they'll still see the tweet because you've @ed them. And as I said in my previous commandment, if it's a complimentary comment, then they're highly likely to like it or retweet it. So if you're @ing famous people, people who've got more followers than you, and they choose to retweet your complimentary tweet, you're getting seen by a lot more people. So that's another way to raise your profile, raise your exposure, and potentially get more followers. Don't forget to @people, particularly if they're famous. My fifth commandment in the 10 commandments of Twitter is little and often. Consistency is key. So try and be tweeting regularly. Every day, every other day, at least once a week. Don't be one of those people that leaves their account dormant for months and then something happens, like it's some celebrity event or an important sporting event, and they start tweeting all day. Consistency, little and often. So make it a habit, daily or weekly. Try and make sure that you've got content to put out every week. Again, if people check out your account and they see that you haven't tweeted for 6 months, they might think the account is dormant and not bother following you. So if you want to make sure that people follow you when they come across your account, make sure that you've tweeted something recently, at least in the last week. My sixth commandment of the Twitter 10 commandments is stay on brand. We all have a diverse range of interests. Personal lives, business lives, social lives. You don't need to put it all on Twitter. I have a friend who had a Twitter account that was primarily for business, but he would tweet a lot about Arsenal Football Club because that's who he supported. Now that's going to alienate people who A, don't like football, or B, do like football but don't like Arsenal. And that wasn't part of his business brand anyway. Now, if it can be part of your business brand, let's say Tottenham MP David Lammy, he will often tweet about Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. That is part of his brand because he's representing the area of Tottenham. So stay on brand. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's business or personal or social or romantic or whatever, so long as that's part of your brand. Know why you're on Twitter, know what you're trying to promote on there, what image you're trying to give, and make sure that all of your tweets reflect that. My 7th commandment on the Twitter 10 commandments is a picture speaks 1,000 words. Now, Twitter is primarily about words, but tweets that have a picture attached, or a GIF nowadays, or a video, will get more interaction. If you imagine people are scrolling on their phone, looking through their timeline, what's going to make them stop and look at your tweet? It's not going to be the words, because words don't stand out when you're scrolling. It's going to be a picture or a GIF or a video. People might stop and watch, what is this video? And then they'll pay more attention to your tweet. So your tweet, your words will have more impact if you put a picture or a video with them. Commandment number 8 of my 10 Twitter commandments is tweet at haste, regret at leisure. Don't get into arguments. Don't tweet when you're angry, because even if you go back and delete that, somebody might have retweeted it or taken a screenshot of it, and it can be used against you later. You might tweet and live to regret it. There's been many high-profile examples of famous people or not so famous people who've tweeted something years ago that has been brought up to show that they're unsuitable for the post they now are in. So think carefully about anything you want to tweet, and think that this tweet could be seen by anybody, everybody in the world forevermore. Would you be happy if your mother saw it, if your boss saw it? So tweet at haste, regret at leisure. My 9th commandment in my 10 Twitter commandments would be ride the hashtag. Hashtags, for those of you who don't know, well, the hashtag is a little symbol like this, and then it has a series of words with no spaces in between, and they can be searched. Twitter hashtags can be searched for. You can search for hashtags, you can follow hashtags, and it's a way to amplify your message. It's a way to get a campaign going. Very famous hashtags in the past include Black Lives Matter. Now you just need to type in Twitter hashtag BLM, and they provided a handy little symbol for you to go along with it. Another hashtag which became a movement is hashtag #MeToo, where women were complaining about sexual harassment. So by having a nice little catchphrase, a hashtag, it can amplify your message, it can turn it into a movement, turn it into a campaign, and be a lot more effective. Number 10, my final in the 10 Twitter commandments would be don't feed the trolls. Trolls are those people who make nasty comments, criticize. Don't get involved in Twitter arguments. There are sadly some people who maybe have nothing to do and spend all their time online criticizing people, hurling abuse, insulting people. Don't get involved. If it's a criticism of your business, then you need to handle that, but do it offline. Maybe do it as a private direct message, or maybe do it in another format. Don't do it in the big Twitter sphere. And again, as I said with one of my previous commandments, things you say could be used against you in the future. So be very wary of getting into arguments online. You can tell if it's someone with a genuine disagreement, genuine grievance, or someone who's just wanting to throw shade. So don't feed the trolls. Don't get involved. Don't get dragged down to their level. Remember, if you wrestle with pigs, you both get dirty and the pigs like it. So that's all for this episode. If you like that, please press like on the video. Feel free to share. And you can go to our website, the Creme Project website, to find more resources on how to maximize your impact when dealing with the media. So until next time, remember, don't feed the trolls.